So some of the hardware I'm going to use is I got these 5/8 bolts that I'm going to thread or basically put into the wood to act as the kind of like the axle that the whole thing can rotate on. And then I got these, you can find these in like the furniture parts drawer. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, let's see if I can take one off. I'm going to put one inside the wood, and that'll allow me to swivel out the bolts. So when the whole thing comes down, this is going to be in there, and then I can twist it back in the wood and it'll lock in place. Might not make sense right now, but I think it will once I start putting it together. But basically I am working on now putting on the washers on these long bolts, and then I'm going to twist on these caps. And I only have 3 because it's all they had, so I gotta go back at some point and find another one of those twist caps. I think there was something else that they didn't have too, I forget. But just as a recap though, so basically where it's at right now is I have my table saw on the mount right now. It's going to extend over to this table that I'm working on, basically just to give you a longer platform to cut or slide bigger material on. This is where the actual flip top is going to go. So I think I might have to put a piece of wood here and then thread the bolt in there. I might have to move this one too. It's not very secure right now either. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I drew sketches of it, but honestly, I'm just kind of winging it a little bit. Oh yeah, the other thing I was missing was the I needed like 2 more of these wheels, but I only had 4 going into this just from a leftover project, so I just am using what I have, because I for sure need one right here. There's I'm trying to stabilize this, but it's sagging a little bit in the middle just because of the weight of my table saw. So I got to put a wheel under this, and hopefully I can lift this thing up a little bit in the middle. That's it right now, so I'm gonna get back to work on this. All right, how's it going, everybody? You saw my flip top table. For the purposes of this video, I finished it. Obviously, this is just a shop project, so you know, it's my bench. So basically, I just got it up to a point where I'm happy with it, and it does what it needs to do. I'm not concerned at all about how it looks. Basically, I wanted a bench that could hold my table saw. Here, let me zoom this out a bit. My table saw, so I could, you know, have a little bit wider surface I could cut on, because you get this. This is the same height as you see there. I got pretty close. I think I did pretty good on my measurement. Really about as good as I can. So that'll allow me just to cut a little bit wider pieces if I have them. Obviously, I'm still limited by whatever machine happens to be rotated there at the time. But I can expand to the right if I need to do so. Typically, if I cut a big enough slab on here, you know, I would hope that I'm not sliding something like 3 feet wide on this, but we'll see. If I need to expand it, I will. The cable is just gonna hang off the side. I'm just gonna have to run my extension cable over to there. Obviously, this is the important part of the whole thing. I still need to do a little bit of work on this, but again, I just ran out of material and I got it up to a functional point. So count here, structural screw, it's gonna jump around the side, and another structural screw. So those go all the way down in. And I'm missing one because I ran out of them. Again, I'm just using either one, you know, stuff I had around here already. I had to buy some of the wood, but screws and stuff, majority I just had. So this is the planer. This is gonna work really well for allowing me to use this space to plane long material. And you do see that there is still a gap here because this height is different than my miter saw height, which I wanted this to be the same height as my miter saw. So if I rotate that, my miter saw will be the same height as this top, which is what I wanted. The planer has its own table, so I'm not concerned about that at all. I had to change this. I had to move this piece back because it was hitting this thing. Got it to a point where it's good. I just had to reinforce here. So now it's really solid. This is the spin top. A part that you didn't see in the video is this safety bolt. So the safety bolt, you can see, you can drive it through there. It'll drive into the wood just to make sure that this does not move on you. So the carriage bolt, you can pull out if you need to, and then push it back when you need to. So that is about right in here, the wood. So it's really strong. It's not going anywhere. So essentially, these two front ones act more like kind of levelers, really. You can see that I have a piece driven in there, and it swivels on there, swivels on that furniture part, and then it just swivels into the wood and just lock it in. That's not going anywhere, but basically this functionally acts as a leveling bars to make sure that this is level with the ground. My original idea was to use these solely as the locking mechanism, but I didn't think it was secure enough, because if the planer's running and these decide to somehow rattle out, which I doubt they would, but if they did, the planer could move, which would not be good. So I put the safety bolt back there, so that fixes the problem. Yeah, you saw me flip it already, pretty nice, but this is the last bit of the table, and I think what I'm gonna end up doing is installing some shelving down here. If I do, I'll make a video separately about that. I was also thinking about putting my storage chest right here too, because it's actually about the same width as this, which is about 27 inches wide. So, but yeah, really, this is kind of it. The whole table can move on wheels, but it's pretty heavy right now, so I'm not gonna be able to move that. The planer alone weighs like 80 pounds, so it slides that way. So another thing additionally you didn't see me put in is this. I put that wheel in to brace this, so now these are sitting level with each other, so that solved that problem. And then I put another wheel right here. I haven't decided yet if I need a wheel under here. It doesn't look like I do. It looks like I have that secured enough at the joint there. So I'm not concerned about that right now. Majority of weight is centered right here, which gets put on here, and there's a wheel right there. And if that, if I notice it begins to sag, which I don't think it will, just because of where the weight's sitting, I can just put a wheel under there and solve the problem. But for right now, I'm not going to do that. I do have another table right there that I can move. That's the same height. Well, it was the same height as my table saw. I might have to modify it a bit. So if I need a cutting surface, I can drag that in here and put it in this square. So that's really what I wanted. So now I can move this basically off to the side of the area, so I get the whole middle to put my projects. So yeah, that's kind of it. Didn't film all the building just because I have a hard time working and filming. I feel like I'm a lot slower, so you didn't see me build any of this, but essentially it's the same as the left, so nothing really fancy about that. Yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any ideas about how I can improve this, let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is that's really about it. So yeah, thanks.